Swim, The Story of Hinemoa and Tutanekai by Chris Silikeli. Swim, The Story of Hinemoa and Tutanekai. Swim, The Story of Hinemoa and Tutanekai by Chris Silikeli. In a distant land of sulphur and steam, on the shores of a lake that glittered like crystal, there lived a powerful tribe, a people fierce and proud, a chief renowned and respected, a daughter of extraordinary beauty, with the grace and soul of a heron. Her name was Hinemoa. In the middle of the lake there was an island with cool, clear streams and hot water pools. They were gentle and healing. This was the home of another tribe and a noble young man. Tutanekai was his name. They met at a gathering of many tribes hosted by the chief. Each man there sought to impress Hinemoa with feats of strength and bravery, but only Tutanekai succeeded. He was indeed strong and brave, but it was the music of his flute that touched her most deeply. He played with great tenderness. Hinemoa knew he was the one she would share her life with. Her father, the chief, did not approve, and Tutanekai was forced to return to his island home. Before leaving, he met secretly with Hinemoa. I roto I te marama, ko tahi ka patua te marama. Ka haere atu ahau kia koe I te pō. Me te marama hei whakamarama I te huarahi, me te tangi oto puturino, hei ārahi I ahau, ka noho tahi taua. She promised, and so they parted. Hinemoa yearned for Tutanekai. Unable to eat or sleep, she would make her way to the shore every evening and listen to the distant song of his flute. If the breeze was unfriendly, the melody would be faint, and her heartbeat would weaken to a whisper, but on still nights the sound would carry clearly, and her spirit would soar like a heron in flight. With the new moon's edge arriving at last, Hinemoa went to find a canoe. The time had come to make the crossing, but all the canoes had been beached and dragged far above the shoreline. Her father had ordered them to move beyond her reach. And that's how it was. Night after night there were no canoes for her to use. As the moon grew stronger, Hinemoa's strength waned, kindled by the only sound of Tutanekai's flute. She came to realize that the only way to cross the lake, she would have to swim. The icy waters would be deep. There would be spirits beneath the surface and creatures in the dark. And yet, on the night of the full moon, heartened by Tutanekai's flute, Hinemoa removed her cloak and waded into the lake. The water's chill rose up to her knees, then to her waist, and then her shoulders, and then Hinemoa began to swim. Thunderclouds smothered the moon, rain began to spit, the wind blew it to a forceful gale and snatched at the strings of the guiding flute, but Hinemoa still swam. She swam until her arms grew heavy. She swam until her legs became lead. Little by little, Hinemoa's strength dwindled, and finally she swam no further. Hinemoa sank into the lake's embrace. Her skin felt the touch of the watery spirits. A shadowy form emerged before her. It was solid and sturdy, like a tree stump. Hinemoa held on to it. A creature at the lake, she dreamed as she drifted off into the darkness. In other words, she went under. When she woke, Hinemoa found herself lying on the gravelly sand of the island shore, the sound of Tutanekai's flute close by. The gale was spent and the moon was shining, but Hinemoa was cold, deathly cold. With the last of her strength, she stumbled to a hot water pool nearby. Sinking into its warmth, her heartbeat faint, she listened to the fading echo of Tutanekai's flute until she heard the sound no more. Just then, a short distance away, Tutanekai sat in despair. Another night had passed, and Hinemoa had not come. He laid down his flute and set out for a stream where he could quench his thirst. As he approached the stream, he caught sight of a heron, ruffling its feathers in the rising steam of a nearby hot pool. Gracefully stretching its wings to the moon, the silvery creature was made for flight. In the shallows at its feet lay Hinemoa. Hinemoa, cried Tutanekai. Leaping into the water, Tutanekai lifted her from the pool and laid her gently on the ground. Her eyes were closed and her skin was pale. Kua tai makawe, tu whera o kanohi. He mahanga po kua whakaahau I tō kohu ora, ki roto ki taku potorino ki a haere mai I a koe. Ina ia nei, kei kone koe kaore he oranga. He exclaimed. Me manawa koe, said Tutanekai. Leaning forward, he placed the gentlest of kisses on Hinemoa's lips. His kiss was tender, his cloak gave comfort. Tutanekai watched as warmth and life slowly came back into Hinemoa. Her eyes opened and she smiled. Kua tai mai aho ki a koe. Ia kohoe aho, she whispered. And so it was that Hinemoa and Tutanekai were together at last, forever. The end.